All right, it is officially the next of the podcast. This one's a Q&A. You're going to love it. Why? Because it's the questions you ask and I answer them. That's how we roll. So straight away, no messing about. Let's get straight into the questions. Boom. Is a calorie a calorie? These are questions that come in either from people that I mentor or coach or that message me directly on posts that I have on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any of those social media platforms. If you're not following me there, check out because there is daily. I mean daily, as in the second name, maybe spelled the same, not 100% sure, being dyslexic, but we won't go into that just right here, right now. And I've actually kind of half picked up a Donegal accent there, hey, because I've done a couple of events there in Letterkenny and actually going back there in August to do another wellness day in a school. And if you would like me to come to your school, to your most certainly primary school or your secondary school or your company, I most certainly would love to come. And I promise if it's not in Donegal, I won't actually put on the accent there at all. But would you believe my granny's from Donegal? This is actually amazing. I can literally switch from one to the other Donegal accent. Yes, it does it for me. Right, let's get into these questions. So is a calorie a calorie? Again, that comes in from a most certainly post in relation to one I made on TikTok. When I fall off the wagon, I majorly struggle to get back on track, continually increasing on my weight gain. Yeah, that again is somebody who's most certainly getting on the healthy buzz and needs a little bit of structure to most certainly get them back on track. Spinach bloats me, but what else can I eat? That comes from Joanne. Most certainly I'm training this moment in time. And then we have dairy intolerance alternatives. That comes from a private message in relation to Instagram. So there we go with the four main questions. And straight up to the top, we have, is a calorie a calorie? So I'm going to tell you that a calorie is a calorie. 1 calorie equals 1 kilocalorie, and every food item is made up of certainly the three main macros, whether it's proteins, fats, or carbohydrates. So yes, it is, but it's totally, I suppose, broken down in the body completely differently. So you cannot compare, well, I'll say the example of 20 grams of protein or 21 grams of protein per 21 grams of protein per 3 eggs, which would be something that people say that it's the exact same thing when they get 20 grams of protein from the likes of a protein bar or anything else for that matter. They are designed, okay, to fill that gap. But what I want you to do and remember is that anything you get from a single ingredient food is exactly what the body runs off. Complete proteins from those eggs are amazing, okay, especially if they're organic, especially if they're free ranging, free roaming the grass pasture. As a result of that, you are getting your best bang for your buck. And the idea that the healthy fats in those eggs again are essential, okay, because you need those in abundance from real foods. You can have a protein bar, but the idea of it is it's not optimal for you consuming protein bars every single day. And there are numerous different coaches, health nuts, that may recommend them to you, and that's absolutely fine, okay, to start off and to get you most certainly away from a chocolate bar. Okay, so there are alternatives. Is it good? Is it bad to have a protein bar? Okay, it depends on what you compare it to. So if you take the example of Mars bar, okay, we get sponsored by Mars on any day. That's something that's lower down on the list. The next thing above that will be a healthier option, would most certainly be that protein bar, whatever one you may choose and like the taste of. The next thing would be a classic 3 scrambled eggs in a pan that I do recommend for people for breakfast, and or if you're struggling on the go, meal prep, boil literally 6 eggs and literally take them out of the fridge, how many you need, put them into the egg carton, put them into your bag, put it into the car, have a spoon in your bag or in most certainly the car door where I typically keep mine, crack them open, 3 of those winning. You could go into most certainly any, I'm going to say, store throughout Ireland and get a sourdough bread. Decent store, get yourself a sourdough bread. On the go food items that I do most certainly consume and gain advantage of. You could also gain it and go into a shop and get a high protein yogurt. These are definitely things that I recommend to people. The one I'm currently using with clients online is the Glenisk one. It's an amazing product. It's high protein and it's low fat. So as a result of that, if you wanted to put it onto bread, sourdough bread, literally go into the shop. This is literally coming into the summer months. You can do these things, going on the likes of picnics, going, being healthy on the go, and at minimal effort, shop, money, exchange, bread. yogurts also exchange for money. And on top of that, you can have pumpkin seeds, you sprinkle it on. There's a balanced meal in itself. My mouth waters when I talk about foods on the podcast on a regular basis. I'm due breakfast now directly after this, and by God, the sun is splitting the rocks. So that is what I would do and recommend to yourself. So in on top of that, then the calorie being a calorie is something that I don't often mention, but I have a post that most certainly has been posted up on the likes of all the social media platforms. And again, if you have any questions in relation to food, always hit me up with a message. Love chatting about different, I suppose, food items and how they can affect your whole energy levels. So there, next point we're going to touch on is a calorie, whether it comes from an energy bar and or if it comes from maybe organic oats, such as maybe the Merry Mill, which I'm in affiliation with at the moment because I have people through a competition that they won 6 weeks training, mostly their foods tailored to their liking to help them to reach their fitness goals. And there's more and more people coming through the organic fitness program as well. If you're looking to most certainly get fit for summer, most certainly get your health back on track, send me that message. And yeah, so the carbohydrates coming from oats are something I would recommend as opposed to an energy, I'm going to say, or even a energy bar or energy ball, which are in abundance at this moment in time at several different venues. But again, it's having the idea that you have your steeped oats and adding in a protein source, adding in healthy fat. Again, let's go with the classic, again, yogurt with your healthy steeped oats overnight. You can add in chia seeds into that, and that is literally one of the meals on the program that I have people consuming. Why? Because it's very minimal effort. It can be steeped overnight, adding anything flavor-wise that you enjoy the taste of, even pink Himalayan salt, which is a natural electrolyte that I do can get people to consume a little bit more of. And those things then from your proteins, your fats, and most certainly your complex carbohydrates are exactly what the body runs off. Okay, and when you do get them from more single ingredient foods and even organically, you are able to thrive at optimal levels. Okay, and that's as a result of better gut health, because in those food items, whether it be the sourdough bread or the pumpkin seeds or your porridge, those are all containing fiber. Fiber is good for your gut health. So you not only realize that those foods, again, are recommended most certainly consume them from, that's some train of thought because the beep came in on the goddamn laptop. If you consume them from most certainly those food items organically, it is something that improves your gut health. Gut health is linked with better skin. And as we can go back to the question every single time, that point of a calorie is a calorie does not really come into, I suppose, question when you are looking to optimize your health. It is a calorie in the science terms, but then when you break it down and when your body breaks down the foods from whatever calorie it was consumed from, it is a completely different kettle of fish. So all the time you are looking to realize that real foods give you real results, give you real health, and especially if you're looking to certainly improve your gut health. Again, those food items that I'm always going to recommend you are from a single ingredient food. I love them. Why? Because that's something that's so important to not only your health, it's not only beneficial for us, it's also beneficial for the environment. Simple stuff. Love that question though. And actually that went really well on social media. When I fall off the wagon, I struggle to get back on track. Okay. This is one of the key things. That when people, most certainly whether you're coming up into the summer, or you're listening to this in the winter months, or it's coming into spring, the idea is I want you to remember that not every day is perfect. And if you do fall off the wagon, whether it's having the likes of biscuits, chocolate cakes, okay, don't most certainly go off and literally write off the whole weekend. I want you to realize that, okay, having one chocolate bar or most certainly or one biscuit is what I'm recommending on a regular basis if you are at a point that you are looking to, I suppose, progress to a healthier version of yourself. It's the idea that just press the reset button, right? And when you do that, you are making your health priority. It can be difficult for people to do that. And that's why it's actually nice to have an accountability, either a coach, a friend, a family member, a group of people. And that's what I'm building right now. I've a CPUF crew that most certainly are on a private page that literally have accountability with themselves, different events, whether it's the retreats or there's walks going to be coming up very soon. And if you want to be involved in that, again, all the time, send me a message. And I would literally love, because I really, really do. A lot of people say your energy is infectious. Yes, and I want to meet more and more people all the time. When most certainly people, like-minded people connect, they literally gain the advantage of okay, that energy being passed on, okay, because there's loads of different healthy people out there, and I've just recorded several podcasts with product individuals who have products that are most certainly something that we can drink. Okay, now we're coming into the summer months, whether it's the water kefir, whether it's most certainly the beetroot juice, it's all those things that really, because Ireland and throughout the world will certainly have a drinking culture, and it's the point that, okay, you can drink. I tell people I do drink every weekend, okay, every week in fact, and it's the point that I'm adding in more healthy drinks on a regular basis to most certainly be my best, because it's that idea of having something in your hand, okay, and you get that's addictive, because smokers and even people who drink on a regular basis will most certainly feel much more comfortable when they have something, whether it's the pen in their hand and or the cup, the bottle that you're drinking from. And it's about adding in more healthy habits on a more regular basis so you can literally feel so much better. So if you're struggling at any stage, at any time, I recommend you literally to realize that that's okay. Okay. Because what you've done in the past, you cannot change. You need to literally get back on the horse. If you've gained some weight, you're not where you want to be. You just need to take one step in the right direction. Okay. Whether that's getting up a little bit earlier and doing those workouts in the morning for minimum 20 minutes, whether that's you getting up and going for that walk in the morning. Okay. Because you own the morning, you own the day. You get up that little bit early and cook your breakfast, meal prep, last night's dinner, next day's lunch. And typically, when you go at home, I want you to literally realize you take control of the foods that you most certainly have on a regular basis. Cooking from scratch is going to solve 99% of your problems. Okay. So start doing that. And that's a realization that you're looking for a 1% improvement. You don't have to be perfect. Perfect does not exist in this whole world that we're living in. Okay. And again, the point that I'm recommending you to add more single ingredients foods into the likes of your diet. And when you start doing that, okay, you can then add in one more organic food all the time, because not even my own diet most certainly would be 100% organic. And I'm just getting more people to eat more foods that they can get local, that they can get fresh, and they can get organic, whether they grow their own or they buy it. I just want more people to add it to their diet. That's something that's definitely going to be on the back of a t-shirt very soon. If not at one of the next events. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And that's literally my tips for you guys on that one. Okay. And next one question we're going to take comes from Joanne. Spinach bloats me. What else can I eat? Okay, spinach is a super healthy food. It's actually an organic fitness food, touching on that point, and something that I wrote about in the book. And if you are someone who eats and consumes spinach and it is bloating you, there are a couple of number of different ways that I'm going to suggest to you that we can try prevent that. Right, so there are digestive enzymes such as maybe fermented sauerkraut to be added to your meals that actually will help this with digestion of this spinach. That's the first thing. Next thing we're going to touch on is the likes of you adding in, okay, different types of spinach. There's perpetual spinach and there's annual spinach. You could try either one of those. And that's how do I know that? Because I most certainly grow it. And the spinach may contain oxalates, so that might be worth even switching up for a different food item as opposed to the dark leafy greens from the likes of your spinach into your diet. So there's kale, which is coming into season, and it comes into season for a reason. We can add in the finest of most certainly what I'm going to say. Okay, broccoli, again, cauliflower, anything at all. You could add in even beans, any other greens most certainly would give you more advantages than most certainly incomparable to that spinach. So we add in definitely a vegetable source. It's not that I want you to most certainly think that we have to consume spinach, whether you're training with me or not. It's about adding in more fruits and vegetables to your diet. So you can add in mixed salad bags that would definitely contain those greens and abundance, whether it's La Rasa, butterhead, iceberg, beautiful. And again, those are high in water coming into the summer months, which is actually so good for your skin health and especially staying hydrated as well. And all those, again, are greens that contain fiber that help you to feel more satiated, fuller for longer, preventing cravings, and that's what we're looking for, okay? A1 on that. Next thing is, if it is bloating you again, it's most certainly adding in maybe ginger. Ginger is something that aids in digestion, can reduce inflammation. And what ginger do I recommend? Typically, a knob of ginger. Don't know why it's called a knob. And you literally just chop it, put it into a cup, and you can drink it before meals. Gives that extra bit of a spice, or adding it into the finest of your stir fries and or putting it in any salad that you would like. Just grate it in lightly. Yeah, so just touch on, if you do most certainly eat spinach and you're eating it raw, cooking it actually reduces down the oxalate. So the oxalate is an anti-nutrient, and some social media influencers will end up telling you that don't eat and come out with a six-pack similar to mine, and they will come on and quickly jump onto the screen and say spinach is terrible, it contains oxalate, and you do not want to consume something that actually has negative effects on your health, right? And I've actually duetted one of those individuals that that's just well worth noting. And the point is, yeah, the idea that you don't have to eat spinach. There are so many other different greens out there and vegetables to you to add into your diet. And if you're ever, I suppose, struggling for ideas of foods that are mostly in season that you can gain advantage of, going to a country market is something I do recommend more and more people to do. There, and where's your local country market? Little thing called I don't know how to spell Google, OOGLE. There we go. Just Google country markets near me, wherever they are, because the farmers, the growers, and there's so many of them out there right now, would love your support in relation to most certainly gaining the advantage of you going to a market and buying some fresh produce from them. Because why? They have fruits and vegetables that are in season every single week, and it's a different days of the week depending on where you're located or throughout the country. So definitely get your hands on the finest of what I'm going to say, foods that are in season. And spinach is causing you bloating, don't eat those foods, because that's something that again is causing you issues. And when you have bloating is one of the first signs of poor digestion. That means you're not optimizing your energy levels, because when you are bloated, you're not breaking down the other foods that you're consuming throughout the day to give you that maximal energy that you're looking for and health from that point of view. So last one we're touching on is dairy intolerances. Just again, read me all right. Dairy intolerances, alternatives, please. So this is something that, okay, a lot of people are suffering with at this moment in time. So I would consume dairy, but I used to be someone who had very, very poor gut health issues because of the highly processed foods that I was eating on a regular basis. And I used to have most certainly a nose like Rudolph every most certainly spring and summer because I was rubbing it so much because of issues with my gut. Also, then I had autoimmune issues, and I had eczema in the backs of my hands and the backs of my legs, and it was terrible. And I was adding more creams to it, but we couldn't get down to the root problem of it. Okay, and it was most certainly that I had a leaky gut, and I've now healed that with the likes of the diet and lifestyle of anti-inflammatory foods and living that I have, I suppose, done for the last number of years. And what I want you to do is, there's loads of different options for, I'm going to say, yourself if you are dairy intolerant, okay, until you heal your gut naturally. So those would be the likes of coconut yogurts. Coconut yogurts are most certainly made from and do contain healthy fats, which is able to most certainly heal the gut. But remember, it's something that does contain high, most certainly, calories due to the fact that it is, remember the simple nutritional fact, fats contain 9 kilocalories per gram, proteins contain 4 kilocalories, write that down if you want, and carbohydrates contain 4 kilocalories per gram. So it's something that can be used. But remember, if you're looking to lose weight, it's important not to overconsume those healthy fats in the likes of your 24-hour period in a day, especially if you're focusing on reduction of body fat. So there's one alternative to your dairy, whether it be the yogurts you're consuming. I would also recommend one of your meals would contain, or all your meals most certainly would contain, these other protein sources, because a lot of people that are in dairy intolerances, you can also gain the advantage of, okay, chicken, fish, turkey, eggs, tofu, tempeh. Those are your classic 6 winners, okay, for protein sources that are non-dairy. And that means that you have to have them with the likes of each one of your meals, having it with breakfast, whether it's like some people right now are having most certainly sardines, some people are having smoked salmon. These are alternatives to the likes of dairy. And then the other alternative would be for your breakfast is eggs. Then lunch would be chicken or fish, or certainly some red meats if you tolerate those. And then the last of the things that I mentioned would be the likes of your tofu or tempeh, which come from soya. So that is me leading on to our soya yogurts out there that you can consume. Soya, I cannot never mind spell it, I find it difficult to say. It is a French organic produce that you can get at your health food stores, and if they don't have it at your specific health food store, and it's not Holland and Barrett that I mean, it's the ones that literally are buying produce from small local growers that you can gain and go in and get for yourself. Okay, typically a tub of that is roughly about 20 odd grams of protein, and that is something that is an alternative to their dairy. And I most certainly have and would have done several videos and have recipes on a cookbook that I have, e-cookbook, that is something that would be made with smoothies that have that high protein soy yogurt. And then the alternative then to most certainly the soya would be a supplement. There's a plant-based, most certainly Sunwire product that I use because it's gone quite expensive. And I do have a link for people that I train, mentor, and coach on the program that gives them advantage of it being roughly about 32 euros as opposed to when it's in a shop somewhere. I think it's gone up to 50 euros in the shops at this moment in time. But yeah, that's something that I would add into different smoothies so that you can bump and gain up the advantage of feeling much more satiated as a result of consuming your higher protein foods. And that's what we're looking for going forward. And all the time adding in those smoothies, your high antioxidant filled greens, vegetables that you were able to suggest. It doesn't have to be spinach. Most certainly could be, as we said, any of the brassicas. Could be minceuna, could be rocket, could be those leafy greens, butterhead, and even kale, which is again a nutrient-dense food that comes at you from all angles and is so easily grown. These are organic fitness foods that I do recommend to each and every body to pick the one that you digest, that you are able to most certainly gain the advantage of numerous different vitamins and most certainly minerals. All right, those are most certainly the finest of the Q&A questions that were coming in today. If you have most certainly any questions you would like expanded on the likes of this podcast, hit me up. Or even if you know anybody else that you would like to be a guest on the likes of the show, I would love to have them. And yeah, if you could share also this podcast, you would do me a massive favor. Share your stories and most certainly tell me what you've liked or enjoyed about these Q&A questions, because that helps us, I suppose, get the podcast out to other people that I wouldn't have otherwise had the opportunity to do so. Okay, other than that, I would love ending these podcasts by saying stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic.